Hey, welcome to Bahasa Little Project. This is your level 1, lesson 1. Okay, so welcome to all of you to Bahasa Little Project, and this time we will start our journey of learning Bahasa Bali. Okay, so if you have been following us since our very first lesson a couple of months ago, we started our journey by learning Bahasa Indonesia. And as you know, this page or this channel is for those of you who want to learn Bahasa Indonesia and Bahasa Bali. Okay, so previously we have completed 10 lessons, level 1 of Bahasa Indonesia, and now we will learn Bahasa Bali. Okay, so I just want to make it very clear from the very beginning. We have two languages here. So cool, right? That you can learn two languages in one channel. That's so cool. Okay, so before we dive into Bahasa Bali, let's learn a little bit about the Bahasa itself. Bahasa Bali is spoken by around 5 million people in Bali. And by the way, for those of you who do not know yet what Bali is an island in Indonesia. Okay, so Bali is an island in Indonesia. And Bali is one of the most famous tourist destination in the world. Okay, so if you just type Bali now on Google, I think you'll be able to find a lot of beautiful pictures and also beautiful cultures online. Okay, so this lesson is intended to those of you who want to learn Bali more. Maybe you are preparing for your vacation to Bali. It doesn't hurt. It actually helps you a lot if you can speak a little of the local language, right? You can say maybe thanks, you maybe know how to greet. That would be great. I think it will really give you a much more immersive experience, okay, by knowing the local language. Okay, so there you go with the little background information about what Bali is. Again, Bali is a language and also an island in Indonesia. That's the first thing. Second thing is I want to tell you guys about the types of Bahasa Bali. Okay, we have formal and informal Bahasa Bali. Okay, and also we have polite and impolite Bahasa Bali. Okay, basically we have three versions. We have the impolite, okay, we have the polite, and then we have the extremely polite. Okay, we will not cover all the three versions in these lessons, but we will use the most popular one. The most popular one usually is in the middle of polite and extremely polite. Okay, obviously we will not teach you the impolite one because again it is impolite, right? You do not want to hurt anybody's feeling, right? Especially if you are meeting the person for the very first time, you obviously want to be polite and you want to be friendly, right? So we will learn again the polite and the rather extremely polite version of Bahasa Bali. But okay, and this is an interesting but, if some of you want to learn the impolite or the vulgar way of speaking in Bahasa Bali, you definitely can contact us through our email at xspacebali@gmail.com, and we will definitely can provide a class for you if you want to learn that. Okay, so we will start now by learning simple grammar and vocabulary and usable expression in Bahasa Bali. Okay, and as always, by the way, this lesson is brought to you by Xspace Bali. If you want to buy books or if you want private lessons with us, you can email us at xspacebali@gmail.com. Okay, all right. So now let's start the lesson with some simple grammar. Just like Bahasa Indonesia, we don't really have a strict grammar in Bahasa Bali. We just have some basic rules that you need to know in order to speak comfortably. Okay? And the first thing we will learn today in terms of grammar is subject pronouns. Okay, so If you are listening to us on Spotify, you maybe want to check out our YouTube channel so you can see the spelling of the words that I'm going to tell you right now. Okay? But if you are comfortable enough in your Spotify, go ahead. Okay? So let's start by the subject I. This is going to be the occasion when I introduce you with the three types of Bahasa Bali. Okay? If you want to say I, okay, there are three ways to say. For the impolite way, you can say, and you can use chang. Okay, repeat after me, chang, chang. Okay, and that's the impolite way. Now the polite way is tiang. Repeat after me, tiang, tiang. Okay, and the extremely polite way would be titiang. One more time, titiang, titiang. Okay, so again, chang or the impolite way would be used with very, very close friends of yours. Maybe after you stay in Bali, let's say for a year, 2 years, and then you have very close friends, then you can learn. And I think you will learn, you will pick up those words, those impolite or not really formal version of Balinese. Okay? But in this lesson, as I mentioned previously, we will mostly use tiang, the polite way of saying things, or the titiang, extremely polite. But we will stick usually with the polite. Okay? So there you go. An example of three types of Bahasa Bali. Again, to review, how do you say I in Bahasa Bali? Chang, impolite. Tiang, polite. Titiang, extremely polite. And if you want to just remember one, just remember tiang, which is the polite versions of I. So one more time, repeat up to me, tiang, tiang, tiang. Okay? Good. So now is you. How do you say you? Okay? Most of the time we will only provide you with one version of the type of Balinese. Okay? Um, but in some important occasions, when we think that it is necessary for you to know the other version, we will let you know what words you are learning, what types of Balinese words you are learning. Okay, whether you are learning the polite way, impolite, or extremely polite. Okay, but if I do not mention it, then you are learning the polite version. Okay, so don't worry, I will not trick you and give you impolite words. Okay, so now again, let's go to you. How do you say you? Ragane. Okay, ragane. One more time. Ragane. Ragane. Okay, what about she and he? And this is the good thing. We do not differentiate between she and he in Bahasa Bali. Okay, she and he in Bahasa Bali is ia. Okay, one more time. Ia. Ia. Okay, what about they? They in Bahasa Bali is ia mekejang. Repeat after me. Ia mekejang. This is quite long and maybe quite hard for beginner. But yeah, ia mekejang. Okay, what about we? We is raga mekejang. Raga, so you really need to pronounce the R here. Raga mekejang. Okay, raga mekejang. Raga mekejang. Okay, what about it or that? It or that in Bahasa Bali is to or ento. We have many versions, but for now stick with to. Okay, it is spelled like two in English, but it is pronounced to in Bahasa Bali. Okay, to. So to recap, I is tiang, you ragane, she or he is ia, they is ia mekejang, we is raga mekejang, and it or that is to. Okay? So yeah, go ahead and practice those new words. And if you are ready, we will move on to our next lesson, okay? Okay, so if you are ready and if you have practiced the subject pronouns, we will now learn more vocabulary. Okay, we will learn several verbs. Number one is eat. Okay, the polite would be makan, as similar to the Bahasa Indonesia version. If you have learned Bahasa Indonesia with us, you maybe recognize this word. This is a very important information. The Balinese or the Bahasa Bali borrowed a lot of words from Bahasa Indonesia. So you will find a lot of words that are similar, okay, both in Bahasa Bali and Bahasa Indonesia, because again, Bahasa Bali borrowed a lot of words from Bahasa Indonesia. Okay? So again, the polite version would be makan, and rather extremely polite or very polite would be ngajeng. Ngajeng. Again, for now, you maybe want to stick with one word only, which is makan. Repeat after me. Makan. Makan. Okay? Drink is number two, minum. 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 The same with Bahasa Indonesia. If you have learned with us through our Bahasa Indonesia lessons. Okay? So again, eat is makan, drink is minum. Okay? Number three is buy. Buy is meli. Meli. Okay? Meli, or the very polite version would be numbas. Okay? Numbas. Okay? What about learn? Learn is melajah. Okay, yeah. Melajah. Melajah. So you need to pronounce the H at the end. Melajah. Like that, okay? Melajah. Okay, so learn that. Makan, minum, meli, melajah. Makan or ngajeng, minum, meli or numbas, and melajah. Okay? So yeah. If you have mastered that, now we will learn very useful expression. This is one of the most used expression in Bahasa Bali. How to greet someone in any time. Okay, how basically to say hello in any time, in the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon. You can just simply say Om Swastiastu. Repeat after me. Om Swastiastu. This is rather long. Swastiastu. Om Swastiastu. Maybe if you do yoga or meditation, you maybe are familiar with this word Om. Okay. So this expression has some relation with the Hindu religion. In Bali, most people are Hindu. So maybe that's some interesting fact maybe for some of you. So again, to say hello or to greet in Bahasa Bali, you can just say Om Swastiastu. Om Swastiastu. That would be the normal speed. But we do have some specific greeting. For example, good morning. If you want to say good morning in Bahasa Bali, you can say Rahajeng, Raha, Ra, Rahajeng, Semeng. Okay? Repeat after me. Rahajeng, Rahajeng, Semeng. Okay? So, to recap, you can use Om Swastiastu at any time, in basically any occasion also. But if you want to specifically say good morning, you can say Rahajeng Semeng. Okay? Practice that and use that. Okay? So so now we move on into sample sentences. Number one is Om Swastiastu, Rahajeng Semeng, or slower version maybe Om Swastiastu, Rahajeng Semeng. Normal speed would be Om Swastiastu, Rahajeng Semeng. And that's also the accent. And this is very important, okay? Every region in Bali has its own accents and dialect. For example, I'm from Karangasem, okay, one region in Bali. I have my own dialect, and it is rather different than, let's say, another region in Bali. Let's say maybe you are familiar with Badung or Gianyar. Again, every region in Bali has its own accent and dialect. But if you use or if you master one way of speaking, you will be understood very well by anyone in Bali. Okay, because we basically use the same words and the same grammars and everything, just rather different dialect and accent. Okay, and sometimes the spelling is also rather different, but again you are safe if you just know one version, one dialect. Okay, so if you want to know again, you are learning now what I use in my region, which is in Karangasem. Okay, so normal speed again with my dialect would be, or my accent would be, Om Swastiastu, Rahajang Semang. Okay, Rahajang Semang. There you go. That's number one. Om Swastiastu basically mean, of course, you know this already, hello, and Rahajang Semang is good morning, right? So, hello, good morning. There you go. Practice that. Number two is Tiang Melajah, or the slower version, Tiang Melajah. Okay? Tiang Melajah. Tiang Melajah. Tiang Melajah. What does that mean? Tiang is I and Melajah is learn. So I learn. Okay? You can say Tiang Melajah Bahasa Bali. I learn Bahasa Bali. So Bahasa Bali is also Bahasa Bali. Okay? Or Bahasa Bali. Bahasa Bali. But yeah, that's for next time. Number three is ia mekejang makan. Ia mekejang makan. If you remember that, if you recall from our previous lessons, ia mekejang is they, makan is eat, they eat. Right? And then the last one is ia minum. Okay? Ia minum is she or he, we do not know specifically yet. He or she drinks. Okay? So again, ia minum could mean he drinks or she drinks. Okay, so there you go. Practice that sample sentences and maybe use that in your daily life. If you are already in Bali right now, you go ahead and go out there and use your Bahasa Bali with your local friends, maybe. Okay, or maybe your tour guide. Just say like Om Swastiastu, Tiang Melajah Bahasa Bali, and it would be great. I think they would be like surprised. Okay, so there you go. If you are ready, now we will give you some homework. Okay, so this is your homework, or just you can test yourself. So you can answer this by writing down the answer in the comment sections on YouTube. Okay, so number one is we buy. How do you say we buy in Bahasa Bali? Number two is you drink. How do you say you drink? You drink. Number three is she eats. How do you say she eats? Okay, so go ahead, write your answer in the comment section, and we will give you correction if you are making any mistakes. So don't worry. And also, if you have any question, don't hesitate, ask, and then we will try our best to answer as soon as possible. Okay, so I hope that that is helpful for you. If you want to learn more, just stay tuned. We will upload more lessons very, very soon. Okay, again, if you want to reach out to us, you can buy lesson notes. You can request a private lessons with me by emailing us through xspacebali@gmail.com. You can also support us by donating any amount to paypal.com/xspacebali. By doing that, you can request anything, or a special lesson maybe if you want. You can request that by just donating any amount. You can also follow us on Instagram or Facebook at Bahasa Little Project for additional lessons. Okay, so yeah, I hope that is helpful for you, and I will see you next time. Okay.